morning. Welcome to Compost. First thing I want to do today is talk to you about compost. So we all went inside, and we saw what's different about our bathrooms here. Okay, there's no water, right? So what do we have here? We have a hole in the ground with a chute, right? A sleeve. It comes down into these bins. So what is compost? Okay, I said it's a compost toilet. So compost is the breakdown of organic matter into soil. So what does that mean? How do we do that? So we have four elements. We have nitrogen-rich material, which usually in a compost pile is our food scraps, right? It's wet organic matter. Okay. We have carbon-rich material, which is brown organic matter, which is dry things like leaves and straw, sticks, and you combine that with water and oxygen, and what it does is it creates an ideal environment for microorganisms, fungus, bacteria, and insects to live inside and to help break down your compost pile, okay, into soil. So when I say that we have a compost toilet here, so we're not putting food scraps into our toilet, right? So here our nitrogen is what comes out of us, is our body weight, okay? Our carbon is the chopped straw that's next to the toilet that we pour inside. And here there's less oxygen. It's getting oxygen every time you open the lid, but there's less oxygen because it's closed all the time, and it's plenty wet because of the urine, okay? And this takes about 6 months to a year. Everything breaks down, and what happens in the end? In the end, it breaks down. Listen. It's not what comes out of your body anymore. It's broken down. It's not poop anymore. It smells nice. It feels nice. It's a little wet. It's soil. It's soil. Adama, yes? Take it. This was feces of a person about a year ago, a little over a year ago. But it's not anymore. Now it's earth. Very rich, dark, healthy earth that we want to grow our vegetables. So this is a crazy thing, right? Organic matter breaks down and becomes earth. So how do we know how to do this? Well, we see it in nature. Has anybody ever been in a forest? Maybe an old forest? Ken? Ya'al? Yeah? So what do we see on the ground around us? Berries, twigs, leaves, all kinds of fruit, sticks, dead animals, the poop of animals, right? All that stuff is filling up the forest floor and breaking down slowly. And eventually it becomes this. The forest, the plants, the trees, they're creating their own soil, which is crazy. So what happens here is, so food compost takes about 3 months to 6 months, depending on the ideal environment. Here it takes about 6 months to a year. And this is the best soil you could possibly have for your garden. This is what your vegetables want, this kind of soil. It's better than the natural soil that we have in a lot of places, like here in the desert. Excuse me. So, a lot of you probably don't grow your own vegetables, don't have a farm, don't get your hands dirty with soil all the time, so what does it matter to you? Why should you care about this? So, what we do here at Lotan is that we try and get you to think a little differently about waste, about the waste that comes out of you, about the waste that we produce. So I'll tell you a little story about compost. A particular compost pile in France of a guy who goes out into the woods and he clears out all the brush, all the wood that's fallen to the ground, all the sticks and the branches and things like that. And he sends them through a wood chipper and he gets 10,000 tons of wood chips, right? These little pieces of wood, okay? And he builds a huge, huge pile. And he keeps it watered the entire time. And what he's doing, he's building a compost pile that's rich in nitrogen, okay? It's still going to break down, but slower. The four elements that I discussed, that's an ideal pile, okay? That's the fastest breakdown you could possibly have. So he builds this huge pile. In the center, he has a water hose that goes in a spiral around the inside the pile, and in the middle he puts a bin like this turned upside down with compost soil already in the middle, okay, and he gets that wet. Now what happens is when it breaks down, it creates a crazy amount of heat. So this guy with this compost pile in France was able to heat 4 liters of water to 60 degrees Celsius in 1 minute, and he was able to use the gas that gets created from that bucket, because when you have decomposition of organic matter without oxygen, you have a byproduct, the gas called methane. Methane gets released into the atmosphere and it's a toxic gas. So this way we're trapping it. He pumps it into his house, he cooks with it, he uses it for electricity, he heats his house with it. From wood chips, from decomposing organic material, he provided 100% of his energy needs, just from organic material breaking down. So, anyone could do this. We all make waste, we all have bodily waste. Anyone could do it anywhere in the world. And like I said, it's about rethinking their waste. It's about creating a healthy, abundant environment in an environment of scarcity.